Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday. Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mounir to Atlantic Ocean, Obami Hills to Country, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah! Focus on Liberia.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jack.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jack.
And I am Anthony C. A pleasant welcome to Focus on Liberia. In today's edition of our show, we are looking at the topic, why Cummings lost. Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings participated in the just ended 2023 general and presidential elections, and he was being favored by many that he would do well, probably even make it to the second round, and will have a better chance of netting the presidency. Disappointingly, that did not happen. What went wrong? What they did not do, for which Mr. Cummings' numbers fell completely from 7% to 1.6%. Many people have been asking this question, and we have not been able to find the answers. One person who supported Mr. Cummings, he has been a member of the ANC and a strong supporter of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, is the general. We call him Mounir Keshen. He is here as guest of Focus on Liberia to dive into this issue to find the necessary answers so that going forward, probably 2029, Mr. Cummings will get the last laugh. Maybe some people think the third term or time is the charm. Well, let me welcome my guest, Mr. Keshen. Good afternoon. How are you doing? And welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Good afternoon, Sid, and good afternoon to everyone. Those of you who are watching from around the world, I want to say good afternoon and good afternoon to the host, my friend, and keep up the good work. I follow you guys, but sometimes don't just make comments. But I'm here for us to have a very good discussion in the interest of Liberia, and I will speak whatever I know. I'm not speaking for Mr. Cummings. I'm not going to speak for the party, but I will have to explain exactly what happened because political party is not a sandy bush. It's not a porous society. It's a public thing, and the people need to know. So to be a good loser, you must be a good. To be a good winner, you must be a good loser. So I'm prepared to speak out.
Thank you so very much. And folks following us across the globe, we want to say welcome to the broadcast. Do us a favor to share this broadcast with somebody because this discussion is very vital. Political parties tend to play a key role in moving our country forward. A political party will earn or making the government of Liberia that will be charged with the responsibility of providing leadership in our country. One of such party is the ANC, the Alternative National Congress, headed by Alexander Benedict Cummings, a Liberian citizen who has been fronting to be president of Liberia. He participated for the second time in the election, and we were hoping, or many were hoping, that he would do better than what he did in 2017. According to the ANC folks, he has just come to the race 18 months to the election of 2017. He will net 7%, amounting to 112,000 votes. So the hope was he will grow that number, he will grow that percentage, and he will either become number two. But that did not happen. So what went wrong? How come did the party do so poorly, in my judgment, compared to their 2017 performance? How come did Mr. Cummings now do better than what he did in 2017 when in 2017 he was just 18 months to the game and he have had about 6 years to do some political work, and then he performed far less than what he did in 2017? Something happened. It's their own doing. What are the things that they overlook? Well, many questions that I have, and who we better talk to than a strong supporter of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, who is also a member of the ANC, and you'll hear him here. He will be giving his personal perspective, and he will not be speaking in his capacity as party official or whatsoever. I can't welcome you enough. Let's get started here. You said something that you must be a good loser to become a good winner. Let's start with that. Explain to us who is a good loser, or what do you mean when you say you must be a good loser?
Okay. First of all, I mean that you got to take responsibility of your failures because losing an election is not. Hold on, let me shut my phone off.
Okay. Take your time then.
Losing an election is not a failure because the people don't vote based on your resume. They vote based on the issues, or sometimes like in Liberia, they vote based on popularity. So if I did something, maybe I started on the wrong foot, and from my mistake, I'm supposed to learn to go back into the race and change things around. So I should accept my fault to be a good. I lost. I should accept it. Yes, I lost. There was a mistake made. Because if I don't make that mistake, the other opponent will not capitalize on it. So before someone capitalize on anything or to defeat you, there should be a mistake. Almost like on the foot of on during football game, there will be a mistake for the next man to score. So we're going to accept our mistake first. That is where you got to be a good loser. You can't complain. The mistake starts from you before they cheated you. So let us put that one first. They never just jump out to cheat you, but they saw a loophole and they capitalized on it. So the first thing, I accept the mistakes. We all made a mistake. I was part of it, but we did it individually. But I was not in that group, in that room to make the final decision. But I had the opportunity where I could talk to Mr. Cummings and speak to him, but I was not part of the decision making. So, but I'm part of the group, and I take full responsibility of what went wrong.
Mr. Cummings is on record for each time he had an opportunity to speak or reflect on the 2017 race. He will go to say, we need to do a better job. We need to communicate better. We need to reach out better. And I believe he said those things, assuming that when you do better, communicate better, reach out better, you will perform better than 2017 when your political party got 7%. Now that you did not get you did not get more than the 7%, you got far less, 1.6%. It said that you didn't communicate better, you didn't work better, you didn't reach out better. What do you think?
Yes, you see, Mr. Now I thank you brought this up, because it's something I've been saying for a long time, and folks who closer to Mr. Cummings, that got the ears and eyes of Mr. Cummings, did not do what they were supposed to do. We never reach out to people. We were in America, and why you think people calling me? Because people saw me on Facebook 24/7 making a case. I was not in Liberia. One person will see me in Maryland. It's not enough. But when we went on the ground, I want to thank everyone who traveled individually. They did excellent. But I'm not there to do an individual job. I want to be a team player. But the team player, that cohesiveness was not there. So we were doing our own thing. But what I noticed when I got on the ground, everywhere Siliki and myself went, when we talking, the first thing they would say, wow, you know, the last time they passed here, it was last year, they only took our names and nobody showed up again. And when we start to explain, they say, but all the thing you're talking, we even know. So it's like Mr. Cummings was on radio explaining, because he's one of the guys that can sell himself. And let me say this, I know they will not like it. Mr. Cummings is not the kind of guy who, when a woman see you, they like you. No. He's the kind of guy, he got to approach a woman, they don't want to say, wow, this guy is a good guy. That is how Ellis Cummings look like. When Ellis Cummings have an interview, everybody go wild for him. But after the interview, what happened? Everybody goes down, because the surrogates, the surroundings, supposed to take that message and deliver it and spread it out. That is where we fail. And who am I? I'm just a one guy. I can't cover the whole entire country. We went to this place and we continue to see these mistakes, and we will send them in and say, listen, my man, you closer to Cummings. This is the situation here. And they will ignore you. You know, some people worry about glory. I don't worry about glory, because nobody can take my glory. You called me today because you saw my work, you saw what I've been doing. So nobody's going to take my glory. So I like for people to come in. There's certain place I can stop and the next man continue. Maybe I can take Mr. Cummings to the mansion, but I don't have to work in the mansion with Mr. Cummings, because maybe I'm not qualified to be in that spot. What I'm good at is what I do. But the people that are around Mr. Cummings lack the message. They don't talk about it. The first person who discovered Mr. Cummings 5 watts and how, I took it from you, from Facebook, from YouTube, and said, what? This is the 5 watts and how, and nobody playing it? Yeah, I always remind Mr. Cummings of his 5 watts and how, his agenda. You see? So the message, yes, it came from the mouth of Mr. Cummings, but the surrogates, my brother, they were not doing Mr. Cummings justice. They took they treated Mr. Cummings like, instead of Mr. Cummings adapting the Liberian way, they were adapting Mr. Cummings and corporate style, and it can't work in Liberia, my brother. It would never work. And I still support him. His agenda for Liberia, his ideas, That is what I want to see in Liberia. But we never did it right. But I was not in that cycle. But I took responsibility because as a team, I believe. But there should be brave enough. It's not Mr. Cummings to say, because Mr. Cummings said, I take responsibility. No, it's not enough. There was a manager, there was a campaign manager, there were other people around. We want to hear from them. We can't waste our time and keep it for another 2 years before we tell the people. Yeah.
So you are saying one of the problems that you have come to identify is the fact that Mr. Cummings will do the job by selling himself, but the surrogates will not pick the message up to reinforce it and propagate it and carry the message to the people for the people to get the message of Mr. Cummings. That is one of the problems you believe took the opportunity of winning from you as an institution.
One of the problems, that's the starting of the problem.
And you went on by saying, instead of the surrogates, Mr. Cummings, they adapted Mr. Cummings' corporate style and identity. What do you mean by that?
Okay, good. You know, there are people, and I would not call the name, and I know they would know I'm talking to them. There are people who believe that, oh, let Mr. Cummings just be Mr. Cummings because you all know his style. He came from the other side. He got the corporate way. Look, let's see. When a man lived in a glass house and never came downstairs, he believed that everything down there is glass. So Mr. Cummings came from the corporate world. Mr. Cummings do business with people who understand. Now you come into Liberia. It's not even America, Liberia, where the people that are supposed to vote for you, they want to see themselves in you. Whether you got money or not, a Liberian man enjoys, or rich man, when you get the money and you come down to the level and able to shake the hands, take pictures, move around. They see you eating roasted cassava. They say, wow, this guy, my man, forget it. But people who saying that, no, we must work with, no, we can't work with Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings got to make the Liberian people to understand him, to know who the kind of person he is. Because the idea of Mr. Cummings, you can't find it in Liberia easily. You will find it with some good people, but they are in minority. The politicians are there. They corrupt. The Liberian role models are all corrupt people, so they understand that corruption is the order of the day. So you can be Barack Obama or Jesus Christ and go to Liberia and want to do it the straight way. Even the people that carry you will undermine you. They say, this man won't spoil my chopping. So we got to let Mr. Cummings to understand this is how Liberian people live. This is how Liberian people play in the mud. This is what they do. In America, I can buy or candidate shite. In Liberia, they got to give it to me free. In Liberia, I can't contribute to a candidate. In America, I can contribute.
The general, if I may, to what you are saying, you are explaining the psyche of the Liberian voter, or the Liberian voters in the majority, right? So Mr. Cummings and the ANC needed to find a way to meet the Liberian people where they have been and drive them along. Are you saying you failed to do that, or you felt that you could just change it your way?
Yes, we fail on that. We think that we could just change it the way we want it. To tell them that, listen, we don't fight corruption. We got to do this one. We want you to agree right there. But let me tell you something. If you see a drug addict and you want to talk to him about the Bible, you can't tell him to stop taking drugs before you talk about the Bible. You tell him to stop at the same time he can be in church and talking to him. Gradually he will leave it. So if you want to go and talk to a voter that understand that corruption is the order of the day, there are people in Liberia that you can talk to. You don't have to give them water to drink. They will understand you. They got some educated Liberians. When you're talking to them, you got to tell them what there for them. They want to ask you, okay, my man, that's true. So what there for me? If you go into Ozogo down Center Street and just only going to tell him that when I take over, I will build you guys a nice house and take you from the street and walk away, you on your own. You must be able to put your hands in your pocket, talk to them, eat with them, make them to feel that, yes, I'm on your side and I'm like you, the empathy. You and myself the same, whether I got money or not, but you and I going through the same problem. You and I got one vote, so that's what make us equal. So we fail to do that. Instead, some of us were using words on Liberia, and the politician was using it on us. You guys are arrogant. You think you're all that. You people are selfish. But I will get to that part, and I will tell you how they play it well, and it worked, and it went against us. You people are so selfish in America. You think Mr. Cummings is that?
Hold on. You mean that your side was being branded or labeled as arrogant and,
Yes.
and elitist, and that worked against you?
It worked. It worked fine. I'm telling you. And I will get there. It worked.
And you couldn't find a way to dislodge that?
Okay. We try it. Why in America? Some of us changed our style of doing things. But going on the ground, look, the ball game is in Liberia. Let us start fooling ourselves. It's not in America. It's not on Facebook. It's in Liberia, going from place to place and talking to these people and telling them what your candidate stand for. This is one of the problems we met. We from America, we think we know too much. Yes, the people in America are successful. Most of them don't want nothing from Mr. Cummings, but I bet you some of them want a job but they will not tell you they want a job because Mr. Cummings never promised nobody a job. But going to Liberia, when you speak with our voters, we went to a place where we spoke. They said, me ask the question, why you guys in America, you're so selfish, and even Mr. Cummings is so selfish. Mr. Bwaka begged Mr. Cummings to go as vice president. Mr. Cummings said no. Wow. When we explain, in fact, a man in Banga make me to take a glass.
Is that a true statement? Hold on, General. Is that a true statement? Did Mr. Bwaka approach Cummings and beg him to be his number two, and he said no? Is that true?
Never, and I stand by it. Never. It never happens.
But here's the thing, General. Liberians, in my observation, in their majority, wanted a Bwaka Cummings ticket. That was expressed in so many ways. I'm sure you got that indication.
Agree.
Did that come to Mr. Cummings' knowledge, and yet he know that?
Everybody wanted Mr. Cummings, Bwaka Cummings ticket. Like Brempo said it. We saw Senator Balu. We saw other people talking about it. We saw Benda Yuri talking about it. But the question you guys never asked them, Balu, you spoke with Mr. Bwaka on this? Because according to our constitution, in fact, nobody run for vice president. That was Mr. Cummings' argument. I'm here to run for president. Nobody ever ran for vice president. The person who will be nominated, or the person who will win this thing here, will have to ask. Mr. Bwaka went all the way to Jeremiah Kuhn and asked him. Ellen Johnson asked Mr. Bwaka. Mr. Bwaka never went to Ellen Johnson. But everybody wanted for Mr. Cummings to go to Mr. Bwaka and say, hello, sir, can I go as your vice president? That is no, and I don't think it make any sense. But the question you guys never asked, and Balu never answered that question on Spoon or whatsoever. Mr. Bwaka want Mr. Cummings to go as vice president. You're asking before he scratched his head. He said, oh, we get there. But people wanted for Mr. Cummings to just come from nowhere and say, let me go as vice president. Now, if Mr. Bwaka going to ask Mr. Cummings, but then I will tell you what, Mr. Cummings, I think I will blame him. You see, sometimes when things happen to us, when we sit down and don't speak silent main concern. If you insult me, if I don't say anything, people believe it. I will have to come up. What I'd expected, and we've been saying it, but it never came from Mr. Cummings himself. The only time Mr. Cummings uttered that word, it was on Seku's show. They said, Mr. Bwaka ever asked? He said, no, Mr. Bwaka never asked me. But what I wanted for Mr. Cummings to do, and some of the people who talk to, I was going to go on radio and challenge Mr. Bwaka and tell the people, listen, Mr. Bwaka never asked me. I challenge him. He never asked me one day. In fact, Mr. Cummings was the one who talked to Mr. Bwaka and said, Joe, I need you to lift up my hands. But we never did it. We said it. I talk about it because I asked Mr. Cummings, and Mr. Cummings authored it on Seku's show and said, no, Mr. Bwaka never asked me. He said it on Spoon. But nobody want to follow up because we believe that This is the time for Mr. Bwaka. So whether you want to do it or not, you got to come into Mr. Bwaka. And it's not fair. That is the mistake. And we don't ask this question.
General, one might want to believe that those who felt that it was better for Mr. Cummings to have opted for a VP position to Mr. Bwaka, don't you think those individuals were in Mr. Cummings' best interest, that they had a better assessment of the political landscape in Liberia? Because look at Kun today. He's vice president.
Yeah.
Who knows
to them,
he can become president. I think those people, their assessment was actually right. And if you look at it on the other side, Mr. Cummings, as a corporate guy, did not start as chief executive officer of Coca-Cola. I think he was second in command, something like that. I don't remember the specific role, but he went to the highest rank there, one of the highest ranks there, right? But he didn't start from there. He started from all the way by the bottom. So why was he almost like saying, I must be president and I can't be vice president? Like he threw out the whole option of being vice president through the window. It was not a possibility for him.
Okay,
right?
and I want to correct that word from you, CA.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Cummings never used the word "I must be president." I challenge anyone to play that tip, and I will apologize. He never used the word "I must."
Mr. Cummings said the
He
place
said,
he can make the
when they
most
asked the question,
impact. Yeah, he played. I can make the
yes,
most
listen. When
impact
they asked the question,
presidency.
he said,
Yeah.
I can make the most impact as president. I'm running for president. We should remember this. Mr. Cummings came from another political party. He alone can just make a decision and say, guys, bye. I'm going to Mr. Bwaka. Now, if I was in that situation, that position to say I should be the one in the middle.
We're looking at the process of becoming president in Liberia.
Yes. It's not a process to be a president.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to be a president, it's not a process that you must go through the rank and file. Nobody should tell me that. It's not truth. They say you should be a Liberian citizen, you should be 25 years old, you should have 25,000 hours of property, and that's it. Now, if I had an opportunity for Mr. Bwaka and Mr. Cummings, the first thing when I talk to in fact, Mr. Cummings will be the last person I talk to. Mr. Bwaka, we want you to consider Mr. Cummings in his collaboration. What do you think? Mr. Bwaka said, oh, yes, that's it. Okay, let's start the groundwork. So I will talk to Mr. Bwaka first, who I believe, yes, he's the older guy, the guy with 12 years experience and whatsoever. When he agreed, then I go to Mr. Cummings. I say, Mr. Cummings, listen, we got to do this. I think it's better for us to put a team together. You and Mr. Bwaka will be perfect. If Mr. Cummings said no, I talk to other people. Because he first say, oh no, let's go to the convention, let's go to primary. I will get other people involved. Then I will tell Mr. Bwaka, I said, okay, Mr. Bwaka, and you and Mr. Cummings are very close. You go and talk to Mr. Cummings. Go and tell Mr. Cummings, because Mr. Bwaka already agreed to me that yes, he wants to carry Mr. Cummings, because the framework never said that the parties should select vice president. They said the standard bearer, when you win the primary, the standard bearer will choose his own vice president, but not from his party. So, and you don't have to be a standard bearer or political leader. You can take the sweeper, even a sweeper in another political party, you got to carry. Now, I will tell Mr. Bwaka, I say, listen, go and talk to Mr. Cummings, because that guarantee is coming from Mr. Bwaka. But what we did, we went straight to Mr. Cummings, Uri, and said, my man, why you can't just go to Mr. So Mr. Cummings, look at you. You're a political leader. I'm a political leader. You already sold out. You say you are not participating. I got a group of people. I came into a race. We put a document together. There's too much to be followed.
What was wrong with that approach to say?
No. There was nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong.
Mr. Cummings, can you agree to be number 2 to Mr. Bwaka? Because with that, we have a better chance of winning as a team. And you
was the same question asked to Mr. Ure asked that same question to Bwaka. Say, Mr. Bwaka, I think it will be good for you and Mr. Cummings to put a team together. Was that question asked to Mr. Bwaka? No. See, the way you conduct your show, I don't expect other people to conduct this show the way you conduct the show. The way you ask questions. Why I can't tell you, say, but see, why can't you be asking questions the way Stentor can ask a question? Why you can't ask questions like that? No, see, this thing is two-way. And Mr. Bwaka went to Kuri to Kun. Ellen Johnson went to Mr. Bwaka and said, I want you to be my VP. Everybody look for their VP. But why we should take one person different and try to put the blame on this man? And now, no decision is right until it is right. So people think that, oh, it's supposed to be Mr. Cummings today. Because if Mr. Cummings want to agree, by this time he vice president. No. Mr. Cummings has his way of doing things. That's it.
Mr. John, let's leave that part, General. Let's come to your own assessment and observation. Why Mr. Cummings lost? What is your assessment? I give you about 2 or 3. Yeah.
Now, one of what I noticed in Liberia, this is where we blunder. You see, I was one of those who continue to talk about pool washing. And it's so sad in Liberia because of the corruption. That is why political parties got to look for thousands of dollars to pay pool washing. In a decent country, you just got to observe that the people from NEC will do the work. They will be fair and perfect and do the work, and nobody will interfere. Imagine to get to pay for pool washing is $750,000 we're talking about. How many political parties in Liberia can just raise $750,000 to just give it to people? Now, I said it, but I refuse to bring it public. But now I'm free to bring it because I saw the analyst newspaper that said they stand by the story that the CDC government suppressed and did everything to get Mr. Cummings to where he is today, because their belief was Cummings was their target, was the guy who, if he go against anybody, it will be easy. But they felt that they could defeat UP. So we rather go against UP. And we heard these things in Liberia, we overlook it. And they capitalized on our mistakes. We made a big mistake when it came to the pool washer. The first numbers they put together, in fact, we delay on the pool washer. The first number we put together when we were checking all these pool washer lists, it was all seditions and UP and members. So we had to scrutinize it, which they did, and the people came from the states, they did a very good job. And we were able to discover almost 3,030 names that were not even member of ANC. They say, oh, yes, I will vote for Richard, I will vote for Cisse, but I'm going to vote for Mr. Bwaka. That's how we started to interview them. And it was late. The day before the election, we started training pool washer. The day for the election, even where I voted in Banga, there were no pool washer for us. There were no pool washer in that room. So they capitalized on it. Even in the great United States, if you give any of the political party chance, they will steal the election. But because of the way the people fought hard, and today the election is better. And that is what happened in Liberia. So we made a mistake on the pool washing. Some of our pool washer entered the polling center by 10 o'clock. Some of them got tired. They left. People in America who also raised the money. So that's why I blame the ANC Global, who better raise the money. Maybe they were supposed to raise the money for pool washer that was supposed to do that thing long time and plan and make sure that everything. But we blunder when it came to the pool washer, and the people capitalized on it. So we're defeated. And everybody knows in Liberia that something went wrong. Something went wrong. Who is Appeton? Something came from nowhere. I believe, and I believe the newspaper, and they said they stand by the story. Mr. Cummings' vote was divided. And I've been saying it. This election was going to be between ANC and CPP and UP, not even George Weah. But George Weah, they brought people out to say, oh yeah, he was so popular. But they paid pool washer, not to NECO.
So
change results.
The general, I want you to bring clarity on your observation why you think Cummings lost. First, you mentioned that you people blunder. You also mentioned that people in the inner circle of Mr. Cummings, they wanted to be like Mr. Cummings. They adopted his corporate lifestyle instead of trying to meet the Liberian people where they have been. And now you turn around and say, well, this is what all CDC doing. So you
Okay,
are
good.
you are.
You see,
I want you
you
to
know,
bring clarity.
when you
This
ask
is
person
off.
to
You
bring
blundered
talk,
at why you didn't get. Hold
yeah.
on. You blundered at why you didn't get the numbers, and then CDC did everything to what? Cheat you then? So how the
Oh yeah, we
CDC
according to the
able
newspaper, you
to
saw that. I
have
think
to
you're
get the
supposed to
numbers
read
that
it.
you
See it.
applied? Mhm.
See it. You
I
read the
read the
newspaper,
article
eh?
and speculation. So tell me,
Okay.
what did CDC
I'm
do?
not the one who put it in there. I'm not the one who put it in
Mhm,
there. It was put there
mhm.
by journalists, and
And
according
then
to them, they say they stand by the story.
you believe them, right?
Wait, wait. Because you know why I believe it? Because
Mhm.
these are information that we got, and we couldn't bring it public because there was nothing to put your hands on. And it's public now, and that's why we wrote and said, okay, please give us. It's a public record. Let us look at the ballots paper and see where what happened, so it can repeat itself again. But when I said that we blundered in a sense, Mr. Cummings did a very good work by campaigning and selling himself. Mr. Cummings was the hardest working candidate in Liberia who visited 73 districts and visited all the counties compared to George Weah or Mr. Boaka. We know all that. But when I said we blunder, I try to give you instant from the start of this, Mr. Cummings, and what we're supposed to do. Because if we were going to concentrate on winning, all these things we're going to fight it. We're going to make sure we get pool washers. We're going to make sure we got people sitting to the polling center day before to watch and see what is going on there. If anybody going to bring anything different, like what UP are doing, because like bro, we know about the cheating, but we're all relaxed and said, listen, the people vote for Mr. Cummings, and I believe the same way I say yes, they're going to vote for Mr. Cummings. Every polls that were done in Liberia, it was three candidates that we knew about. It was George Weah, Mr. Boaka, Mr. Cummings. George Weah, Mr. Boaka, Mr. Cummings. So nobody should say that nobody knows Mr. Cummings in Liberia. But yet we were supposed to get to the finish line. We blundered, we started all our thing, but Mr. Cummings did it. He went to people, but still he never reached the places. He never reached the places. So if we could still be second and third and don't win because of certain things that we did. But no one can tell me that Mr. Cummings with 1%, no, it's
I get
impossible.
that. I
So
get that. Let's talk about the issue of pool washing, right?
yeah,
So you did not send people out to pool wash at every precinct.
no, not everywhere. Where I voted, there was no pool washer in Banga at that particular precinct. I went in there, I videotaped it, I saw it. There were no pool washer from us.
So
And I
did
saw
you
the people that voted,
people have
and
pool
I met
washers
some
at
people that
all?
voted. Eh?
I want to know whether you people have pool washing at all.
Yes, we have pool washers, yes, to some places, but they were not all over the place. They were not all over. In fact, one of the places that I had contact with, because I had a girl there, they called Success. She was one of the pool washer. She called me around 8 o'clock. She said, "Oh, we didn't get a tag yet." Then I called Tiola, but then while we're talking to Tiola and the girl were on the other line, and then the person arrived. It was after 8 o'clock. They said, "Oh, they just came with the tag." The girl called me again around 2 o'clock. She said, "Huh, the thing are going on here. The children said they're leaving you because they thirsty, they whatsoever. They thirsty, they got to go." I had to cash up $10. I said, listen, just buy water. Please. I'm in Banga. There's nothing I can do. I myself, I'm on the line. I saw people from ANC, CPP who are going to vote, and I monitored that identical place. We got two votes according to the whole thing. So maybe they check my vote or they check somebody's vote. I don't know who voted check, but I monitored identical place, and we had two votes. There's a woman they call Gifty who voted and she has zero. She strong woman in Banga and she has zero in that particular polling center. So what went wrong? We still try to get our hands on, but the information that came in and with the analyst newspaper would say, "Wow, it was not." We ain't blame NEC. We ain't blaming no UP. Most of these things are done at the polling center. I bet you now when they talk about forensic investigation, where they would say, okay, we know the pool washer, we know the telephone number, we got to check and see if there was any money transfer that day and who called and whatsoever. That is why we say we need a forensic investigation. You understand?
We talk about protecting the vote, and you people emphasize the need for that. So for me to be hearing that you didn't have pool washer at most of the polling places, it's shocking.
Listen,
How
eh, eh, eh,
do you hold yourself responsible in any way here?
okay, now you need money for pool washer. You need up to $750,000 if you can just do the calculation. How much you going to pay them? Other people are paying a pool washer $50, $20, $25. I just told you, political parties is nothing for us to hide. To hide secret. You think the people don't knew that we don't have pool washer? It's not hidden. We delay on our pool washer. We talk off names from our pool washer because some of them were sedition, some of them from UP. They call them, hello, who you voting? Who got you on the list? Oh, yeah, pool washing for CPP. So who you going to vote for? Oh, I'm voting for CC. And then we vote president. I vote for George Weah. The book got afraid. They start taking names out. Even Success, this guy I call Success, her name was put in last minute of time. After we gave the name, her name was not there. Somebody called and said, oh, we want to pool wash for CDC. She said, hell no, it can't happen. But when they asked her 2-3 times, she said, listen, I never signed up for CDC. That's how they got her on the list. And she worked very hard. And how much they gave them? So the delay, you got over 5,000 and plus centers. You got other counties. You train people the day before, the new ones. How are you going to get them to Banga? How are you get them to Nimba? How are you going to get them to Maryland? How are you going to get them all these centers? These are things that are supposed to, and I talk about it every day, and people go back to my video, and I don't care if I hate anybody feelings here. The fact is that you go back to my video, I also say, what we did for Dillon to adapt the pool center, let us pay 300, let us start raising the money now and start doing it to protect our vote. We don't have nobody in NEC to fight for us. If you look at NEC, for the last 12 years, it's UP. George Joachim and Ada is on there. So they've got more strength in NEC than any other political party. So the people at the polling center, that is where the people do all the dirty deeds. And whatever comes from that polling center, they're going to announce it. They're not going to change it. So that is where you have to do your vote, your work. And we never did it. Let's be honest. It's not anything yet. There's nothing to hide about.
Many Liberians can agree that it was shocking. Very shocking.
It is.
That Cummings, who got 112,000 votes in 2017, will get less than 40,000 votes in 2023 after at least he have gone across the country in a significant way compared to most candidates, right? So it was shocking.
Thank
and
you.
That is something you people need to find out. But let us say this though. Elections are now won or lost on election day, right? So my question is, what were the early signs that the ANC will lose? Were there any early signs that you know of?
Well, the early signs came, and to me, it was the day before the election when I saw them with the whole pool washer thing. In fact, they rally. I was not really concerned about the rally, although we never had so many people on our football field, because the mobilization was poor.
You mean the retired suffering rally?
No, not the entire song rally. The last day, the one who took to the stadium.
To go as far back as you can, as far back as you can.
Oh, look, the entire suffering rally, it only brought in disenchantment among a lot of people. To hear that money got missing in the hands of certain people. If I was Mr. Cummings, let me be honest with you, I gave you my money, your driver steal the money, I will fire you. It is your responsibility. Whether they actually stole the money from you, it is your responsibility, because even in a corporate war, if you mismanage and millions of dollars got missing, you know what's going to happen? They get rid of you straight.
How could Mr. Cummings fire the Secretary General of the party? Did he have the power?
Oh no, when I say fire you, listen, you can't fire him in a sense that, no, I will come out and I will take action. You will not, you will set to or different. I don't want to see your face again. You will be in the back to do something different. My man, you got to do it early. You can't do it when it almost to a point where, not because he's the Secretary General, I can't fire you from another party, But Louis Brown was a campaign chairman. Louis Brown will be responsible first.
Yeah, Louis
Who?
Brown he could fire because
Okay,
he hired.
that's what I'm saying. The chairman, the campaign chairman,
Mhm.
you know about that money, and then you take it and give it to John Brown. John Brown, yes, that's true, they stole the money, but you were irresponsible. That's why they stole that money. And two, you refuse to even mobilize your own people. Even if the other political party don't show up, you were supposed to mobilize your people to show up. And in Liberia, see, you know, and I know that certain party that did it before, they ain't got to go there. Just say, oh, it happened 2005 and 11. So say, all CDC, please report to the headquarters. They will run. That only one party I saw doing it. And now CDC can't do it anymore. They got to go and mobilize now. They got to make sure they bring buses. So the people already say ANC got money. Global raised 200,000. They raised 300,000. Still, like you know, you got members in Broadway. You got to make sure you transport them to Monrovia. They're not working for you. You got people in the other counties. You got to transport them. That's what CDC and other people are doing right now. So for you to just think that they will just walk, so you got to mobilize. The mobilization was bad. Even on the day of the day of the rally, on Fresh Sunday, yes, I saw people in the street giving thumbs up. I was on a motorbike, riding all over the place, taking risks to get on a motorbike in Liberia where there's no insurance. All over the place. Went to the stadium. The stadium was not packed, but I still had a hope because the people I saw outside and whatsoever, they're wonderful. And I want to talk about it here, but silent voters. Silent voters are people who just keep their own. So I don't know where they come from. We thought it was a see American thing. We say silent voters, some people just won't hide themselves. But we saw all these things. Then again, the day before the election, I told my speaking Siddiqui, I said, Siddiqui, this election, let's just try.
The general still talking about early signs. The fact that
I tell you about this, the day for the pool washing. That's why I felt discouraged. I say we won't do anything.
I just wanted to say the fact that the CPP disintegrated at some point, or other political parties that were part of the CPP left, and you stay in there. You were like 1.5 party because half of Liberty Party was left. Will you consider that as one of the early signs?
To be frank, I don't think so. You know, listen, people will say yes, it was a bad thing that he left. I felt it when he left. It was a big split and it had an effect. But with the two other parties, 1.5, I think we could have done a better job. The people who are responsible now to bring other people on board. Look, my man, bringing another party, they're not going to work for you free. There's interest in party. They want jobs. They want this. They want that. You got to bring them in to be our stakeholders, not to just come and join you. We failed to do it, and it was only Liberty Party and ANC remain. I don't see no other party that people we heard about was coming, and they never show up. This other party coming, never show. Why? Maybe we failed to negotiate. It's not free. So let us get this thing here. If they don't show up, that means something wrong somewhere. You got to get these people on board to strengthen your party, but we failed to do it. We failed. But we're doing better next time. We see all the mistakes. We'll do it better. And I know one party can just win election easily. Let nobody take it off. ANC alone will not go. Whether Liberty Party and ANC break up this time around, coming in 2029, you got to come with collaboration. So nobody should come and fool me, say, oh, ANC alone will do it. You on your own. I won't lie to nobody.
The general, anytime Mr. Cummings spoke about the election of 2023, he was confident about victory.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know now, was he in denial or was he being real? I want to know, was he just unaware of what will come? You know, I just want to know. I'm curious, what was the whole confidence?
He was real about it, and myself, I was real about it. Let me tell you something. And I don't want to put Liberians in the situation to say they are ungrateful people, they are deceitful people. No. Little thing can change someone's mind. Little thing. And when it comes to the politics, is where these things happen. We interview people, we walk around, we talk to people who say, listen, my man, I want you gotta read, you got your thing on, no, cut it off. My man, let me tell you, Mr. Cummings is the best guy that can change these things. There were polls that came out, and when we look at people who refuse to be identified with political parties, had higher numbers. So some of us, I said, but if they got higher numbers, their CDC government and the UP party, the two parties, I know these people who don't want to show themselves. I don't think they want these two parties in power. Because if you look at it to all the other candidates, all the candidates campaign against the two parties. Agree. I heard tier one campaign against UP and CDC. Everybody, UP and CDC, we tie with them. Let us bring new face. But Liberia is not a place where you can do. So there were people who supported Mr. Cummings. I met a lady who I will not call her name, a very renowned woman, say, my son, I just feeling for you, but I pray to God that Mr. Cummings win. He's the best man. I said, but Oma, why you not around? She said, yes, I was with Mr. Cummings in 2017. But the way the people can do the thing, especially your who from that side, your camera now, your thing, we're not supposed to be around Mr. Cummings. I listen to Momo say, you doing, I watch your show, my son. We sitting down in our place, the woman talking. I say, wow. And that one of the things, people who are supporting Mr. Cummings felt that they never had access. Listen, you see, Joey Dance left for him.
Has Mr. Cummings been in a bubble?
Yes, my brother. Yes, yes, and yes. Not because I have the opportunity to text Mr. Cummings and I talked to him, or I was in Liberia and made an appointment and they accepted my appointment directly with him. For that, I'm happy. But do you think I'm happy when other people look at me, people who I know got some of the solution to tell me that, my man, I've been going to that office there to even see Mr. Cummings. Sometimes I have to tell and say, yes, I sat with Mr. Cummings where his phone never stops. Bum, 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 bum. I talk to people. I say, why I want for Mr. Cummings to go on a channel where nobody like him. You know how many times I heard they say, why Mr. Cummings should come? And I will say it. Why you can't focus on Africa? That CMN there, he will just go and ask Mr. Cummings, Mr. Cummings a little boy, he can't answer question. Mr. Cummings have said it over and over and say, people think I can't fight for myself or I can't talk. And see, let me tell you something here again, and I wanted to listen to me. We organized a program in Philadelphia here, CPP USA. They called me. I was part of that team. I came from Liberia, registered, and I came and joined them to help. They said, Mounir, is there any place you want us to take Mr. Cummings? I said, oh, good. I live in Jersey. I'm the president of Liberian Community Association in South Jersey. We're not part of ULA. I said, but I will talk to the president in Trenton. I will talk to the president in Philadelphia. And I will want for Mr. Cummings to visit these places and have a church or town hall meeting or church. They all agree. We put that agenda thing together. Whenever it enters the place, they send it back. They say, oh, it's too much for Mr. Cummings. They send it, it came right back. It's too much for Mr. Cummings. I started getting frustrated. Young Bowman said, Mounir, please don't. I talked to Mr. Perkins. Mr. Perkins was so mad. He said, don't worry. Until when Mr. Cummings arrived at a meet and greet, that's when I walked to Mr. Cummings. I said, Mr. Cummings, you saw my text. This is what we want you to do. You know what Mr. Cummings said? Yes. Don't you know that was the biggest problem I caused? There's a lady from the ANC who attacked me. I will call her name Etta. Let her go and say it. In Rhode Island, that I took Mr. Cummings to grown-up people, to all kind of dirty places in Philadelphia. She insulted me. Look at you. You using Mr. Cummings. You taking the man all over the place. I say, wow. For Mr. Cummings to meet Liberians, he don't have to be you. The other day, I was beating on in North Carolina. I said it on the Spoon Show. I said, if Mr. Cummings come in a gathering, you already know Mr. Cummings. You don't need to start running behind Mr. Cummings to take picture. The person who knew, let them take picture of Mr. Cummings. But when you say these things, they think that my responsibility for Mr. Cummings to win. My eating bonnet in Mr. Cummings' house. The money Mr. Cummings got is for himself and not for me. He not paying me. So why should I be afraid of Mr. Cummings? No. I drove for Mr. Cummings 48 minutes in Chicago. 48 minutes to go, 48 minutes to come back. So I believe that Mr. Cummings surrounded, they don't ask him questions, they don't talk to him. They don't tell him, say, listen, Mr. Cummings, this is what we need to do. This is what Mr. Cummings sometimes force himself, and this man follow instruction. When you tell Mr. Cummings, say, y'all will go over there and dance, Mr. Cummings will go. They don't change it, that's all. So I know, but when you tell these guys, because they think that they got ears to Mr. Cummings, so I blame them. They put Mr. Cummings in a bubble. And my brother, let me tell you, Joey Dance Booker, I work for him.
Who are these individuals?
Well, look at the people surround Mr. Cummings. And let me tell you,
who are these individuals in Mr. Cummings' circle that
I will say this,
that sealed this bubble and enclosed him in this bubble that you are talking about? Who are those individuals in the
people complain. You see, I will call the names, don't worry.
Yeah, call the names.
People, some of us, we are very blessed for people to give us information.
And
because the way we bring ourselves,
well paid too, and they did a
because we bring ourselves down. I went to ANC head office. I went to the Liberty Party head office. When I go there, I sit with the ordinary Liberians and they talk. Some of them look at me and say, if I say, General, are you ready for America? I say, yeah, what happened? He said, you sure? When you guys get down from the car, you know, Liberian people, they say, let them there go again. Hello, what's up? They pass. And I always say these things that everybody got one foot. We're all important. We all important when it comes to politics. Nobody above the friend. And I always told Mr. Cummings, and I said it before, Mr. Cummings, do not allow your surrounding to be your eyes and your ears when it comes to Liberian politics. When you hear them say, oh, you go to that office there, you make appointment, Mounir will push you around this and that. They say, Mr. Cummings busy. Or you go there, Mr. Ava, they will talk to you, they will pick up the phone, but they will let you wait. You go to Louis Brown, you will sit there whole day they can. And see, when the people calling names are around Mr. Cummings, and the simple thing say, and guess what? They don't want on pay, they on salary. It make us feel bad. See, I never made an appointment with Mr. Cummings and I go there for 5 minutes. I'll be honest with you. That is Liberian man who I know. You know, Liberian man may appointment you go to the office, you say the whole day they bring you in. Mr. Cummings, you go there 2 o'clock. The reception will say, oh, Mr. Cummings expecting you. I will go straight in there. That's Mr. Cummings right there. But when you in this politics business, my brother, you can't overlook nobody that won't tell your boss hello. Yes, they coming to beg. I agree to beg. But if they coming to beg and problem, tell us what's the problem. If I have to beg, I have to help you, I will write it down. If I get a time to sit with my boss, I say, Chief, I got 7 person that came here today, they say they need help from you. If somebody come and say, I really want to talk to Mr. Cummings, I got certain information, I will make that same way, because you know how I look at that person? I look at that person as a voter. That the first thing that come to my mind. I'm not talking about the person going eat, what are they going big. Everybody beg in Liberia. Everybody. Now, I will do these things and make sure, because I want to vote. But when I go there, you know how many times I meet Mr. Cummings, I go directly. So these are the problems.
He has been begging for votes, right?
I'm not hearing you.
I said Mr. Cummings himself is a beggar. He has been begging for votes. All politicians beg for votes, right? All right.
I don't know if that your microphone or my microphone.
I think it got to be yours. Maybe yours is not charged now, so may adjustment at the end. Folks, we are in conversation with Mounir Keshen, who is also known as the General, member of the Alternative National Congress. The ANC is strong supporter of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. We are discussing the topic, why Cummings lost. General, can you hear me now? You just muted yourself there. Folks, bear with us. He's making adjustment with his microphone. There. Once that is settled or resolved, we will be getting back to him. While we wait, let me see if I can read some comments here. General, let me read some comments here. This one is from Daniel Nuggles. The Liberty Party truly integrate the CPP. The Liberty Party partisan actively campaign Did they feel they had a voice in the campaign process? She's asking a lot of questions. Let me hear from Flomo Livingston. ANC people were
Okay,
busy
say again.
attacking
Hear
GMB.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. ANC folks or
I can
people
hear
were
you.
busy.
I don't.
You still can't hear me in the general? You still not hearing me? Then just don't use the microphone at all. Remove your microphone. Just use the computer microphone. You should be fine. Oh Lord. ANC people were basically attacking GMB Heaven H instead of focusing on their campaign messages. That you have from Ora here. Let me make adjustment here. Okay, let you have from Ora Gawe. ANC whole campaign was about JMB. The voters were mad about how you guys tarnish JMB, that person, right? Like yeah, from Emmanuel Bro, Mounir Keshen, you should have said one of the places instead of one of this person is about English. Yeah, the English things is difficult. I mean, yeah, from M. Managing here, right? General, can you please go back to your previous points on your conversation with the man in Banga? I think General has made that point already. Let me read more comments here. Let me read more comments here. Madison again, we advise ANC folks about these issues you are raising, but they all play us low. He said raise the issue and ANC people played them low. Let's hear from Comfort. Comfort right. Thank God Mr. Cummings didn't win the presidency because the Liberian people money will be stolen like ANC campaign money this person is saying here. The general, you are here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. You can
All
hear
right.
me?
Excellent. Yes, I can hear you too. That is good. Thank God that has
You can
been
hear me? Okay, good.
resolved.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. So, General, let's do this. There are many factors that we can all talk about being responsible for why Mr. Cummings and the CPP lost in the faction the date. But why do you think would be the major factors that led to this loss? And is Mr. Cummings himself personally responsible in many ways? Did you hear my
Yes,
question?
Mr. Cummings is responsible because he made it. Yeah, I can hear. Yeah. You can hear me?
Okay, yeah. Let's address the question. How was Mr.
You can hear
Cummings
me?
as an individual, as a leader, responsible? How?
Yeah. Because Mr. Cummings is the one who made the appointment. Mr. Cummings is the one who supposed to take the action if they're not performing well. But I don't know why he never took the action. It's the inside thing. Maybe they were not getting, they never got the support they never got what they wanted to do the job. I don't know. But if you hear in politics and everybody, the population, the members complaining about people which Liberal they complain for, I agree they complain. But sometimes Mr. Cummings want this proof. Moriah is not doing her work. Mr. Moriah was the chief of staff. But can you recommend somebody? She's a very good chief of staff, don't get me wrong. Mr. Cummings trust her. But when it comes to the politics, I believe the campaign manager should be responsible when it comes to politics. It's not the chief of staff or whatsoever. The campaign manager should be giving everything. That if there's a problem, you hold him responsible. But when you talk to campaign manager, they say, well, I'm now 100% into this. Oh, I don't have this one. I don't have this one. I don't know. So, which is true, Mr. Cummings admitted. He said, I take full responsibility. Don't blame them, blame me. But no, Mr. Cummings, no problem blaming you. But we saw what happened. We went there. We sat down to talk to people. They ain't know us. We gave them our little advice because we on the field. Nobody giving us anything. We're doing it because we want to change Liberia. And when we give an information out, it should be implemented. When I got the news Grand Bassa County. Dana Chair was going around telling people in Grand Bassa County that, oh, y'all know I was supporting Mr. Cummings, yes. Y'all know I left Mr. Cummings because Mr. Cummings is gay. And you were lied to Sla. They did it in Bon County. Oh, yes. And when you go in these places, people look at us and tell us it was late. What 2 weeks can do on campaigning? Can I convince anybody, the whole place, in 2 weeks when they say, hey, my son, as I tell you, or man make me to drink glass of palm wine and say, my son, the thing you telling me that Mr. Cummings is not selfish, and he refused. That's why Mr. Baka left. I drank it. I said, oh man, that what happened that way. The woman said Mr. Baka left the CPV because Mr. Cummings refused. He's too selfish. The man said, oh, so a little. Because everybody here, like, what are they thinking about? And I said, then again, some of them said, no, like Mr. Cummings. Some point believe it. But when you tell these people they carry the news and they play it, it work for UP, it work for CDC. But at the same time, the numbers that we got is still nothing to stop us from getting numbers, because we read it, fought that thing, and we slow it down, we reduce it, but they play in certain counties. When I went to Grand Bassa County, when Bezonga launched, we were there talking. Bezonga said, you support Mr. Cummings. People say, I will vote for Bezonga, I will vote for Joe Weir. I will vote for Bezonga, I will vote for Mr. Boaka. So we don't know how they did a thing there. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that for us to move forward, we got to look at all our little mistakes, and coming into 2029, if Mr. Cummings is going to come back, because Mr. Cummings have not decided yet, he said maybe he might come or not, and I pray that he come back. We can do it a different way. We can open it up to people. We get influential people. We can know who's going to. Although, like Brembo can say, they've been singing a song, oh, that Mr. Cummings stand 2029. And you know, that word is sticking in my ear today. It's in my ear today because they started it from 2005 and they brought George Weir and they start singing the same song and they brought Mr. Boaka. And I'm not going to use the word never anymore because I used it before and I'm going to use it again. Maybe 2029. But if we're going to get it, are we going to continue the same thing we did yesterday? No. Are we going to change it? It happened to Mr. Bromskin, the late Bromskin. Bromskin was the same guy. They call him the arrogant man. He don't go to certain party. But when Mr. Bromskin noticed it, he started attending all kind of little functions, make sure people flexible around him. So that Liberian politics, my boy, they vote on popularity. They vote on when they like you, the way you speak to them, the way you talk to them, they will vote for you. You can come with the last issue, the last remedy that can fix, that can change their life around. That's not what they're looking for right now.
The general.
But we still tell them what we're going to do. So which is true. You gotta win before you lead. It's true.
The general, Mr. Cummings is global from what we've been told. You are from Maryland as well. And Mr. Cummings at some point got an endorsement of the global people. I think that took place in Moravia in the Clarendon area. So one was of the belief that, well, the global people have come to their son, and maybe this time in Maryland, he will win Maryland. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Why?
Good. Now, you see, the same thing we're talking about, people maybe were disenchanted. You got, and I'm from Maryland. Yeah. The Marylanders are not like the people from Lofa County or Nimba County. I will put them almost the same Basso people. The Basso people, they sold the land before.
We are from Maryland. Grand Crew. Boaka from Lofa, he won Lofa.
Yeah.
What happened to Mr. Cummings, his own county?
Good. That's why I said the people in Maryland, they are not like the people in Lofa. Marylanders don't just vote for you because you think you're the son. Let me tell you today, Marylanders, they got an open mind. They have an open mind. They vote for who they want to vote for. But the question, and I continue to palm them, that I'm disappointed in them, when I heard some of them saying that, oh, Mr. Cummings is supposed to come to Maryland and open a corporate company and for the people to work and whatsoever. They did it to Bayshare when they say he won that little gambling thing. They start organizing, they're going to bring the money to Maryland, this and that. My question to them, Did Josh we are build anything in Maryland? No. Mr. Bwaka, no. Don't you know, compared to all the Marylanders in this our time, Mr. Cummings had made the highest contribution to Maryland by giving TC scholarship, giving DJ Dawson Hospital and Medicine, contributing to the county team. Now, this is my problem now with Mr. Cummings. When you do these things, my brother, you can't keep it to yourself. I can talk it from now to Judgment Day. If you are doing it, can't talk it. The people say you do nothing. When the last time Balu gave TC $1 million for scholarship, never in his life. Mr. Joe, we did it, no. But some of the vests. Oh, Mr. Cummings promised us. Mr. Cummings ought to send this. Mr. Cummings ought to do this. He didn't do it. So they went to, and what he said, Dan Moriah, another crook. I will support Mr. Cummings because he want to. People complain, say CPP, do not put Dan Moriah on our ticket. He's not in our favor. And when you look at Dan Moriah's track record, you will know. But when a corrupt man open his mouth, my boy, if you're not too strong, you will fall.
So you are saying some Marylanders are saying they could not vote for Mr. Cummings because Mr. Cummings did not carry, say, a factory or a business in Maryland to employ Marylanders? And your argument is that, well, did Mr. Weah do it? Did Mr. Bwaka do it? So if Mr. Weah, Bwaka, and other candidates didn't do it, right? But they are asking Mr. Cummings to do it. What is it that Mr. Weah has done for them, or how did he communicate with them that Mr. Cummings has not been able to communicate with them for them to vote for him, even though he didn't do the things that Weah and others didn't do, and they will go their way?
Good. Now, I just told you before that Mr. Cummings is not the guy that when a woman see, she said, I like that guy out, until he approached the woman. They don't want to say, wow, they got a nice guy.
Are you one of those guys when women see, they say, yeah, I want this guy?
Oh, yeah, trust me. When women see me, they like me straight. And when I go in gathering, when I start to talk, people like me. I knew that way you're going to go. Don't let my wife run after me.
Well, you getting yourself in trouble. I'm going to ask a question. Go ahead.
No. Listen, my wife understand. My wife understand that how I talk. But listen, Mr. Cummings now, this corporate guy that people sold to the Liberian people that he's money man, he got money. When you tell Liberian man you got money, all they want you to do is to spend money. I saw it before.
Sometimes your price can be different. When people say you raise, your price can be different in the market.
it can be different. Now, George Weah is the most popular Liberian ever in our time. Play soccer. That's correct. So you ain't seen before. Once they see George Weah, they love him. Then you got Mr. Bwaka, who was already. People got to know Bwaka was involved for 12 years. They didn't see him that they did Bwaka. So he got to do anything.
He didn't go there to campaign.
Yes. Thank you. He never went to campaign. People went on his behalf, but they know the name Bwaka. Now, Mr. Cummings went to Maryland. But how long Mr. Cummings spent in Maryland? How many days, how many weeks and months for them to know you? But see, Mr. Cummings was not born in Maryland. And I will tell you today, if I had that opportunity to meet Mr. Cummings for the first time, Mr. Cummings don't need to identify that he's from Maryland. He's from Mosorado. Mr. Cummings' father was 10 years old when his mother took him from Maryland and brought him to Monrovia. His father is a stepson. Mr. Cummings himself explained his story. His father, his mom, now ain't know that the papi there get a late side chick. The woman couldn't stand it. The woman brought her son to Monrovia, went to school in Monrovia, did everything in Monrovia. Then he got big. He married and born his children in Monrovia. Mr. Cummings never went to Maryland one day. But when Mr. Cummings went to Liberia, I was so-called that politician think that you're supposed to identify yourself with a county. If I were in Mr. Cummings' shoes, that would let my friend Najosh. Najosh say I'm from Magibi because I was born in Magibi. My father from Sano. I know Sano. Mr. Cummings, I was going to tell him I'm from Mosorado County. You know how many children from Maryland, Lofa, they were born in Monrovia and never went to the counties, can't even speak the dialect. But we went and talked to Mr. Cummings and said, okay, you're part from Maryland, yes. So identify with Maryland. Now, if you want Mr. Cummings to identify with Maryland, he got to identify with Maryland the way Maryland people want it. Live there, spend a month there, 2 months. In fact, you know what I told Mr. Cummings? Lastly, I said, Mr. Cummings, if I were closer to you, you are going to register in Maryland to vote, and you are going to close your campaign in Maryland. T. Max was there. He shook my hand, and I said, that's a fact. Because if you want to identify, I'm from Maryland. I was born in Maryland, born to the table. I left Maryland in 1976. My mom brought me to Monrovia. I went back there in 1986, the last time they had a dual birthday. I got brother living there. Since they ain't go to Maryland yet. I got cousin living there. But all my life that in Montserrat. If I want to go back to Maryland to do something there, my brother, I will have to go back to Maryland and spend the first 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and let people know that I'm back in the town, and that's it. That politics. In America, when they say, yes, if you live 1 year in a district in America, you can contest. That's not Liberia. You can go to Buchanan right now and live there for 1 year. Go and contest for senator and ask you if they will know that you're from there. And don't speak the pastor. So, Mr. Cummings, that's what the people want there. Look, Mr. Cummings can adapt to any situation, but it's based on his surrounding. And see it. And I want to ask someone, you ever saw Mr. Cummings getting down from his car to buy cassava? Wow. Some people think that Mr. Cummings knows how to do it. Some people think that Mr. Cummings don't have to do that. Yes. Yes.
Why do they feel that way?
Some people feel that Mr. Cummings knows how to do it. Man, listen. Instead of that, is Mr. Cummings willing to follow the instruction? He's willing. The man tasted King juice now. But don't you know 2017? I seen Maryland, they went there and they brought a King juice. The coin they want to drink it, they said, don't drink it. But he drank King juice now. My man, look, see it. That poor joke aside.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Cummings is taking too long to adapt, to the Liberian way, the Liberian way of politics?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And you think that is unfortunate?
Because of the surrounding. I'm telling you, my brother.
And has he gotten to know that his surrounding is a problem?
No, because maybe he might know it now when we continue to say it, because they see this is the problem with this man thing. If I continue to speak behind closed door, people will not change. That's why I want to say they will hear it. Maybe Mr. Cummings will hear it. And I plan to do a video. I talked to Mr. Cummings. You see, I'm not the kind of guy who can stay too long on the telephone with Mr. Cummings. 10 minutes enough. I can't give all my message. And I never go there to bash anybody. I always say we. But I plan to do a video and I will explain to Mr. Cummings my entire view and the way I see things.
So the general,
the
general, let's look at the future now. More than likely, Mr. Cummings may come back to contest again. He's retired from corporate America, so he has time on his hands. He has time on his hands, and like he will say that he's blessed by God, and meaning he has some money. He has some resources. That's the word he will use. I said, Mr. Cummings, the word resources, Liberian people don't relate to it. Tell it, people say I get money, or just say I get some money. But the thing is that going forward, what can Mr. Cummings do? There are some things that I heard from some people say, well, the way Mr. Cummings is a corporate guy, and that is the way he's being sold by his surrogates, that corporate guy should be so practically. If from Coca-Cola, does he have a Coca-Cola Light company in Liberia that is selling the same thing? Is Mr. Cummings producing something in Liberia to the full knowledge of Liberians, something that they see, oh, this thing from Mr. Cummings' place. Like when you had a fan say, oh, air coming from Ure fan, this coming from Ure's fan. Some people believe that if Mr. Cummings should go that way, it will help, because then the people will relate to him that our corporate citizen, this is the corporate thing he's doing. It's about production, it's about service, and the people feel it, they feel it, they touch it, they see it. Some people think if Mr. Cummings, you go that route, it will be a better campaign than going and be on T-Max 50-50 or anywhere and talking, because they talk. A lot
Cool.
of people don't. It
And
doesn't resonate with the people.
I I agree. I'm telling you, this is the thing. If Mr. Cummings open up, they can imagine they get Lebanese people in Liberia that sell that fix. They got a water company that do Coca-Cola. They call it American Cola.
Mhm.
If Mr. Cummings open a company, he's still going to make his money and still going to create job.
Mhm.
But is that the business you want to do? But if you think that's the best way to sell you, to tell the Liberian people, say, you see, I just opened this company. I got 300 Liberians working. As president, I will do more or whatsoever, which is true. You got to show the Liberian people that this guy is a corporate guy. And also, there's certain things that Mr. Cummings did in Liberia that he never said, talk about one day. See, don't, if I tell you now that Mr. Cummings paid WAEC fee 2 times, 2016 and 2017, and pay for tutoring, you believe it?
I'm just hearing it for the first time. I know of donations is made
Good,
to most educational institutions, including health institutions, but the wire thing, this is my first time hearing it.
good. In 2016, 2017, I asked Mr. Cummings, T Max was sitting there when I had a short interview with him, but after we start talking, I said, Mr. Cummings, you pay WAEC fee and all, and you never say, I paid 2 times. I said, but you never talk about it. You never talk about the BWI generator. You never talk about the Nimba Community Engineering Department that you built. You never talk about it. The last time he wanted to get scholarship, just 2 weeks to the campaign, he said they shouldn't put it on video because the people they need a respect. They're not partisan. You never talk about all these things that you did. You got people in Rwanda and Kenya on scholarship. Why? Well, I don't think I need to say these things here. Mr. Cummings, that politics.
I'm not cutting
You
you
have done.
off, General. There's a video about Mr. Cummings I saw. I think it says 65 reasons
Yes.
why Cummings, something in that on that line, right?
Good.
That
You
video
saw that video
mentions 65 different things or
that Mr. Cummings
contributions
did.
he has made.
Good.
And
My
if you
question
look at
here,
the people talking about Joshua, they will say Joshua on the basis of what he's done when you were playing football. That's how he
yes.
got it. Like,
But guess what? And you
people
heard
so
George.
the fact that he's an edited statement, he's been in government for over 40 years and he
Yeah.
knows government. That's how they saw him.
Good.
So,
And you
so
heard.
are you suggesting that it's a mistake for Mr. Cummings and the team not to sell Mr. Cummings based on the things he's done?
Yes. Listen, this is the thing. You heard Joshua saying that I gave scholarship to LU. He said to give for his own mouth.
Yeah.
And do you know the time Joey actually get a scholarship to LU? That when Joe was president, when Joe was president, the
Yeah,
time
I
he
think he
came
gave
home, he
some
bought a bus.
during Taylor's time
Okay,
too.
now. And Joshua would say, tell people what he did. But we said it. They talk about Mr. Cummings 65 different things. But Mr. Cummings himself never talk about it. So if I come and say and see it is
And
good,
how
is this,
were
is
you
that,
the
is that?
surrogates? How were you the surrogates go out explaining these things that he has done as contribution to the Liberian community? How will you have done that?
Well, if I would speak for myself, I talk about it all the time. But how many of them said it in Liberia in front of the people or to go around and tell, how many of our people can read? How many of our people will see this leaflet when you put it on Facebook? You got to disperse yourself and tell the people, this is this, this is that, and you continue to tell them whether we like it or not. But at the same time, I was stand-up barrel. He's very good. He can sell himself. He can talk about the issue. He don't criticize nobody. But I think we missed that part. We need him to say it. Mr. Cummings, what are some of the things that you did? And then Mr. Cummings said, listen, I did X, Y, Z. And since you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. I did this. Mr. Prince Johnson never built a college over there for him. He built it for himself. I built one for them. I'm not living. You got to say it. People still tell me Mr. Cummings never did nothing like bro. People tell us that. So what Mr. Cummings not doing like bro? Now you tell us what he not do. You ask this question, but they don't read it. Some people still believe, like I saw one of the comments here. Oh, the people are going to steal money from Liberia. How you would say Mr. Cummings will steal money from Liberia when he president, that he will steal money, or because somebody stole his money? You know, it's just kind of foolish comment. It's not fair. But we also glorify corrupt politicians and believe that they are good because whatever they steal,
I
it
think
will
the person
benefit me.
comment, what a person is saying, that how Mr. Cummings become president, that is how people close to him will stay in government, because they are close to him and they stole, I think, $70,000 or $75,000.
Nobody stole. Then you see, that's why you see he chose to listen to his own stuff. I said, misplacing of money. Nobody stole money. The person who stole the money was a driver that yes, it was confirmed that he stole the money. But you were in charge of this money. You're supposed to keep that money. It is your responsibility as a campaign manager. I never said that the people stole from Mr. Cummings. No. You see, they chose it because they still want to find something. But at the same time, they say that the other corrupt politicians are the best people. But because somebody or driver stole money from me, but I believe that Mr. Cummings is going to take action against me because he gave the money for me to keep. I was going to be careful. I was going to make sure that money stays somewhere safe. So it's on me. So if somebody or driver coming to steal, they can steal from anybody. I never said that people around Mr. Cummings stole money. So they should, you see, that if, when you support someone anyway, I expect the name is not one of Mr. Cummings supporters. So I expect that.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification there, folks. In cyberspace, if you want to participate, the time is now 605-313-6004. Don't forget to enter the code 791-403 # to join the conversation. So while we wait for callers, let me see if we have some comments here that I can read. This one is from Emmanuel Bro. Guys, honestly speaking, the good thing that's surrounding Cummings' character is the primary reason why the vast majority of Liberians haven't actually and fully embraced him on the political landscape. Take note of that. Let me hear from Woblate Sarah Slam. I was in Harper when Cummings went Maryland before the 2017 elections, and his handlers told him he is from Weekend. Since then, he believes that is where he is from, but apart from his global identity, they allow rather to be played by the likes of Musa and Ellen's empire. That person concludes. But yeah, from this viewer writes, well, thank God for Mr. Cummings. Thank God Mr. Cummings didn't win, because from what I am hearing, Cummings can lead. He allowed people to push it around and he just go with it. That person said, like, yeah, from Madison here, Mr. Cummings' presidential dream died the very day he refused to run for the Senate. He shouldn't have started from there. He shouldn't have started from there and get adjusted to, maybe meant to say should have started from there. Yeah, should have started from there. That's what the person said, and get adjusted to the Liberian politics. Thank you there for that comment. Let's hear from Kalon, right? Didn't GMB folks hate on Cummings as well? Mr. Cummings will be fine. Too much of this life for this man. I believe his mission to be president is to help Liberia move up from where it is today. And then this comment from Daniel, when you were having an issue earlier, I read it. The Liberty Party truly integrate into the CPP, the Liberty Party partisan actively campaign. Did they feel they had a voice in the campaign process? The general, I want you to respond to the comments, but there's one I must add though. I remember Musa Ability, as head of CPP, said we're going to charter an aircraft to move CPP supporters from here to go to Liberia and register and vote. I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, he said it, but he mean like a charter aircraft. People, there were a lot of Liberians that left from here to register. And they went
So
there
why
and they
he
tried to
said
high price.
shouldn't have
When
happened? You see why you doing?
no, no,
He
no,
said
no.
he
He
started, but he
it
didn't
made
mean
that
that.
he no, no, no. He was not planning to charter an aircraft.
No, my question is, did that happen?
Wait,
Was the plane charter?
no, no. We
That's the
asked people that was planning to go to Liberia.
Mhm.
It was cheaper when we spoke to the airline. It would get bulk of the people going, but other people have already purchased the ticket at the time. Some people ticket was in December and whatsoever, but truly speaking, the airline that we're trying to get gave us a very good price. Once we can get about 100 or more people on, they will reduce the price. But everybody had their own plan. I went Liberia in what? May. Other people went December. You know, people started to go. So it was, so we say, well, they're saying it can't work that way. But it was not like, say, the party was going to charter an aircraft to go, but it was in the making, and Air Louis and other people were in charge of it, and they brought the airline, and it was cheaper. It was very cheap, but everybody have already purchased the ticket. Now, some of the comments here I see, it is their right to make the comment. Mr. Cummings is still a powerful politician in Liberia. They can say whatever they want to say. They thank God that Mr. Cummings is not president. And it's so nice to hear a Liberian looking at a successful human being and say, thank God you're not even president, sir. I'd rather they corrupt people to be president. That's a good thing. But at the end of the day, the war never was used against Ellen. It was used against George Weah, and the other will use it against Mr. Bwaka. And I advise you for people to stop using it. Mr. Cummings with a 1%. But I know within myself, Mr. Cummings is not a 1% guy. Because if I subtract Mr. Cummings out of that list, I subtract him. Are they telling me that Apeton defeated Akop, defeated Tewon Gonglo, defeated all these people? Do you know why George Weah refused to keep Apeton? Because they knew that Apeton never had a vote. He met George Weah. They couldn't settle with him. And how can a 1% man be so powerful that the vice president, president-elect now, took his entire entourage to go and talk to Mr. Cummings? And President Weah himself drove to Mr. Cummings, a 1% man. But all the other candidates went to them. How can a 1% man be so powerful and the name of this guy is still, when they see the name, they tremble? And he's moving quietly and say, I will be to the inauguration. I will go and create jobs. I will open businesses. I will do what I'm supposed to do. Now he don't have to focus on running around the country to sell himself, because I will tell you, everybody in Liberia knows the name Alexander Cummings. So let us not fool ourselves. Whether he 1%.
Are you being political to say when I hear the name Cummings, people tremble? I don't tremble when I hear the name Cummings.
Because you're not in a race, my brother. You're a journalist. Nobody name can make you tremble.
All right, General. Let's go to
when they hear your name, they tremble. They won't come on your show.
Yeah, many people said they don't come in here, but I don't know why. You know, maybe I appear too tough when I'm this soft, but they don't know. Anyway, let's go to the phone line here. We have the man Sarah Slan. Mr. Slan, you are live. Why did Cummings lose?
Yeah, the great Tony.
Yeah.
Anthony, so kindly permit me to use probably 1 or 2 weeks to be able to answer some of the reasons that contributed
Okay.
to Cummings lost in the election. When Cummings party was in the CPP, the original CPP, one thing that he did was to undermine the success of that particular CPP. How? Personally, you and myself, we are friends. But how is it that we are friends and you passing behind me, going to my children, away from me? That was what, Cummings did. There were people who were in University, the UP, the rest of the other parties going and taking the members and bringing them to ANC. You asking for collaboration.
They were in a political dogfight.
So
Oh, okay.
So the second thing has to do with the issue of this gap ability. Look, you can't be pointing out other people that they are corrupt, but yet still you are dancing with the corrupt people. So,
who are some of the corrupt people that Mr. Cummings dance with? Who are some of the corrupt people Mr. Cummings dance with?
The old folks, you consider corrupt. Yes, so you were in the mix. You wanted to run on the popularity. So it's like you saying one thing and you doing another thing. So that was one of the next thing has to do with so the CDC and the ethics factor play very well with the AFC. They broke the Liberty Party apart. You have, for example, young people who is a political leader. You have ANC, you have Cummings who is a political leader, and you go to somebody because there was national information, so don't go there. You define your only and went to their political party headquarters to be able to do, activities there,
And you think that will make voters not to vote for Cummings?
They saw him as someone who was, conflict.
Then what did people vote for? What did people vote for Mr. Bwaka when, let's say, Frank Johnson is a conflict guy?
So the NIBA factor is completely different from one another. One, Cummings doesn't have a base. Cummings does not have a political base.
All right, Mr. Slant. Mr. Slant, thank you. We have a lot of callers. Thank you. Thank you. We have a lot of callers. Let me get to them. I appreciate your contribution, Mr. Slant. All right, let me get to the next caller. Here is Madison. Madison, come on. You are live.
Hey, Mr. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to hear your voice. Please, in 1 minute, what did Mr. Cummings lose?
Thank you so much. I want to say hi to the general. I want to follow up. Then one of those people who really advocated for Cummings presidency. So I want to say hats off to you and thank you. Some of the things you just talked about, those are some of the things you talked about. Cummings, should have been very much open enough. But however, thank you for your time with him. Speaking to Mr. Cummings, Mr. Cummings, this is a mistake that made him lost the election. I commented earlier that you should have gone the second way. In 2005, when Georgia lost the election, people said that you are not educated, blah, blah, blah. The brother, he also the college. He went to school. And he came back and they said, oh, young man, you don't know nothing much about politics. Because you guys gave most of the courage to ran for the Senate. You won the election. As a politician and somebody who is well educated and grounded into people, you can look at other people's mistakes and capitalize on that in your own time. You can put any part of that. In fact, one of the major mistakes you do, it's very well about the country where all of division A. You can come here and lie. And that instead of asking them to people across the country, I said, remember what government did? Government had about 27 years, never considered work from Montreal to happen. When you are in someone, you could do for how to change the inequality. So you are part of that. And then lastly, what I want to say is that Mr. Cummings still in 2017 to allow his followers to go behind whoever he wanted to be president. But he did allow them to go wherever he wanted to go. That was a mistake. And then they come to the point that they did the same thing again. So to me, there were a lot of mistakes that, there were a lot of mistakes along the line.
Thank you.
And lastly, that what the general commented on, he said something about Mariah Kula. Mariah Kula was somebody who was just like aggressive. She was fighting everybody, then agreeing everybody. You don't run a campaign like that. Your target at that time was George Lewis. But the way they targeted Jesus Father, I'm going to say Jesus Father the one power. I don't think sometimes they don't like that. When you criticize somebody too much, you see, I think the person is the best person. Everybody gets easy. Don't go there.
Thank you.
That's how I think it is.
Thank you,
Thank you so much. General, hats up to you.
Thank you, Madison. We will go to this anonymous caller here. Caller, you are live. Your name and where you joining us from?
My name is John Bayer.
Okay. Go ahead. John Bayer, you have a meaning. We want to know why Cummings lost.
Yes, I'm kind of surprised listening to Mr. Keshen. He mentioned a lot of strategic inconsistencies. He mentioned a lot of strategic. Yes. Yeah, I was listening to Mr. Keshen, and it seems like he mentioned a lot of strategic inconsistencies involved with the Cummings campaign. But the problem with that is that Mr. Cummings comes from one of the largest corporate gamers in terms of marketing, Coca-Cola. And so what I don't understand here is why did they have all of these bottlenecks when Mr. Cummings should have understood all of these dynamics, and they should have been prepared to confront these problems long before they encounter them. Now, if Mr. Cummings would have faced all of these bottlenecks, would Mr. Cummings have been faced with the same problems where he would become president of the Republic of Liberia, not being able to solve the strategic problems that the country would be confronted with? That is the problem I'm confronted with.
Thank you. Thank you. We have our education analyst here, Mr. Cisse Goya. Full disclosure here, don't hire yourself. Mr. Goya, how you doing? Go ahead. You have a minute. We are looking at why Cummings lost.
Well, this conversation, because the general always brings a lot of knowledge to the conversation. A few points. My one thinking that it continues to do the battles playing for a collection of very smart people is this electoral denial stuff, this conspiracy theory they keep throwing around. You all before the elections were boasting about how much money you had in your coffers and how the Union Party did not have money to pay the poll watchers. Yet you are here telling us that we should take the Evidence newspaper article that is quoting sources. And I was not even bringing those sources tonight. And the newspaper was not in those polling places. But you want us to use a write-up from yellow journalism as a source, a credible source, to claim that there were electoral mass-stations in Liberia. That is very, very shameful on the part of an established political organization. You should provide us with the data, because when they count ballots in the polling places, they list them up with everybody else there and say, Cummings the market. So if you believe your votes were given the capital, provide us with the data, with the electoral evidence, so that we who understand numbers can go in and check it and back it up. So we got to stop undermining democracy in Liberia. If you lose, say you lose, move on. Don't blame this thing on any electoral mass pieces where you don't have the rest of the back there. And I wrote that, and I'll be very short, is that Cummings surrogates constructing his message. And a lot of people that they feel were going to be put to them from entering Cummings circles. I wrote before the elections that I was willing to help any political party with crafting their educational agenda. I was going with them. I reached out to UP, I reached out to CDC. You can realize that anyone will be president, I reached out to the Cummings group. The one group that I put right now, the white people justification, before it was the Cummings group. She went to the justification before. So I think a lot of these people contributed to a very good candidate. It's a fine Nigerian. It's a huge. It was the best person to produce the a lot of these people struggling with to prevent that, and the role of the people of affordable leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. And I too have my own experience. I and my colleague had gone to, I think it was in Maryland, they were having a retreat. The ANC member invited me and my friend, but because we were close to that ANC member. And so we went there. And when we got there, my friend and I had written a paper, very short, and it was titled "The Narrow Window to Opposition Victory." We wanted to present it or deliver it at their retreat, and we begged for audience or a space. They negotiated for hours and came back to us that no, we can't allow you because our program is set in stone. And I walked away. And that was the time I said, Liberian political parties is not my place. I'll be in the media so that I can hold these people accountable. That's my own personal experience. So I think Cisse Goya has a point there. Thomas Kana is FOL regular panelist. My good friend, how you doing? Mr. Kana, are you there? Mr. Conan, Hassan Conan.
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing, Mr. Sear?
Oh, sorry, I'm mistaking you for Conan. You are Conan, Hassan. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, great show. The general made a couple of points and stuff. I'm a strong disclaimer. I'm a strong ANC supporter because of Alice Cummings. I mean, I list a couple of reasons why I think we lost and stuff like that. Basically, one of the things you guys already said was the name recognition thing. Frank Walker has been around for 12 years, almost 82 years, and stuff like that. If we could go all the way back to the 80s and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons. Messaging was one of our things. I mean, I felt like we had the right people, but the messaging was mostly from the diaspora base. I think a lot of people in Liberia wasn't getting those messages, right? Unity Party came into collaboration with Evil Spoon, so they had the media on their side. First Spoon was a lot of other radio stations for 2 hours every day, 7 days a week, for bombarding our people with propaganda against Cummings. One of the things was partisan support. I think even though a lot of people that I talked to was on Cummings side, or a lot of people basically, but our support wasn't strong, We just felt like we was too lax that, people were kind of like just understand, So I felt like ANC, our partisans didn't really go hard. Mounir tried, on Duke, Duke tried when he got to Liberia, but it was too late, He got to Liberia late in the game. And basically, I still think, 2017, I still think he's still fairly new to Liberian politics and stuff like that, because that name having maybe 2029, that name would be would have been around long enough to be for people to recognize and stuff. So, but I felt like a lot of things, but I think the most important thing would be like you guys is a lot of people never had access to Cummings. I felt like they was making this thing too sophisticated for Liberians, for the average Liberian to participate. Right? They decided to make it too, as you just said, you trying to get your message across and you against that. So they try to make the process too sophisticated for people. It started to look more of like a elitist, thing and stuff. And I feel like that's where they went wrong, and that's what most Liberian people say, Cummings, I know he can do all this in there, but I want to go with Walker. And then this Walker was supposedly most likely to go to second round. Again, but 2029 we see. I mean, we write down our mistakes. We have to get heavy on social media. We have to, be aggressive. Not overly aggressive way and look at we mean, but we have to be aggressive.
Hassan, do you think it was a kind of missed opportunity for Cummings to have opted to go with JMB? This has been floated around a lot. A lot of people felt that would have been a greater pathway for him. Do you think it was a missed opportunity to have opted for that? Well, let me go as VP And once I'm VP, I become a household name in Liberia. And then 2029, I will be right there because that Waka is president today.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, Mr. Shea, right? I mean, politically, that would have been a good strategy if that opportunity. I don't know if the opportunity ever presented itself. I think Cummings said that was never presented. If the opportunity presented itself politically, but I think morally, looking at what happened and all the things that happened to, based on his own personal stance, I think he made those decisions right for personal reasons. I don't think he was making a political decision. If Waka would have been up and not to support, and even when it went to the point where he not endorsing, towards the end, when he didn't endorse Waka, I felt like that was personal things that happened over the years. Waka testifying, they lying, spreading rumors, they having cost stuff, they didn't bring him. Over the years, I felt like that was personal. That's why he didn't endorse.
Yeah.
And yeah, so politically, when that makes sense, if he would have went with Waka.
Yeah.
But personally, I understand why he did it.
Yeah, I can relate to that on a personal level. He's been taking a quote, and that quote thing was very hurtful. His knee was being dragged, and politically they play him, and that was hurtful.
Yeah, and even Unity Party, I'm sorry, Mr. Shea, Waka kind of like green lighting stuff. Basically, unleashed stuff for 4 years.
Yeah,
against Cummings.
And
never said nothing. So I mean, I understand the reason.
And Costa himself apologized. He confessed that they helped to destroy Cummings intentionally. But again, my man, this is politics, not a child play. All right, thank you for your contribution.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, let's go to Livingstone. He will be our last caller here.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Livingstone. You have a minute.
Yeah, pretty sure. Again, bro, we don't like to take responsibility. So now Harold putting the responsibility on GMB, like GMB told to criticize Mr. Cummings. Grow up and who don't take responsibility. No, we need to take responsibility. It's not GMB. Costa didn't agree GMB before. So Costa is in his own world. He always do that to every political party. So I'm not going to put that blame on JMB. He should take that responsibility. I think the thing that makes Cummings to lose is the Cummings and his supporters. Their main focus was on JMB. How JMB was sick. JMB will end up in the hospital. JMB going to die. So they were not focusing on the message what Mr. Cummings would do for the Liberian people. Instead, they were just focusing on JMB sickness, his age, and all that. And up to today, they stay talking about GMB age segment. It will not segment anywhere. They will lose when you continue focusing on GMB until 2029. You see that that's telling Mr. Cummings to the Liberian people that what Mr. Cummings can do different from GMB, different from the other parties. Instead of focusing on an individual and age, Mr. Cummings will end up losing again. If 2029 comes and they continue to preach the same message, he will lose the elections. Again, the election was free and fair. No one can tell me they gave Mr. Cummings vote to Appleton. It's not possible. Appleton was number 1, GMB was number 2, Mr. Cummings, I believe, was number 4.
Yeah, he was.
How is that possible? How would someone take from number 4 to number 1? I didn't know you said that GMB vote. Okay, we can argue with that because both of them were closer to each other. But Mr. Cummings was number 4. How would you say he took his vote and gave it to Appleton? Even if he gave Appleton vote to Mr. Cummings, he would still not go anywhere. It would still be 2% or plus vote. So you can't say that Mr. Cummings voted gave to Appleton. That'd be truthful here, though. The ANC people always say that they have money. They said, JMB and United Party were broke. They have all the fundraising they had in the United States around the world. They said they raised 200,000, 300,000. What happened to that? So they probably ate all that money. They didn't spend it on the purpose. So that's why Mr. Cummings lost. And hopefully 2029, if we decide to run again, they have to change that message. But if they continue criticizing GMB and they will lose because LeBron put that interested in it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And General, my last question before your closing here is the whole thing about war room. It has become something major now in protecting the vote and ensuring that the votes that are cast for a particular candidate are counted, right? And so as I followed the election, I noticed and I saw ANC having a war room. A single figure did not come from that war room. So talk to me. Did you have a war room? Where are your war room numbers? Did you have war room numbers from the field?
They set up a war room. Yes, the war room was set up, and I went there. I saw nothing came in before I left, and that's what the same blunder we were talking about. A blunder. We know. I don't know what went wrong on that. But let me say this: I can't speak on that war room issue because I didn't see nothing coming in. They had a war room. I saw computers. I saw everything. I went in there. I saw it, and nothing came in because apparently it never worked. But I want to say this: your first caller and your last callers, if all the other colors were great, but your first and the last, they're not different. Like UP supporters, whatever they took from out of the mouth, it is their right to say it. But to me, I don't want to be disrespectful to them, so I will just leave it at that. It's their right to say whatever they want to say. The other person said, "Oh, Mr. Cummings paraded with musability." And I'm glad you're asking the question. What about Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn, who was also a co-chair on all these things? And some people in the UP were still pissed off that Jeremiah Kuhn was a wrong pick. I say these things all the time. No decision is right until it is right. No decision in life will make is right until it is right. Mr. Baga said, "I will dance with the devil if it costs me to win." That was a decision. If you're going to lose, you're going to buy me a bad decision. Mr. Cummings, on the other hand, I will not come back and say, "I think Mr. Cummings made a wrong decision. You're going to go with Mr. Baga." No. Mr. Cummings believe whatever you put on the paper, that's why people think when you go to Mr. Cummings, you're talking and take pen and paper, because you know what? He don't want to make mistakes. Leaders go and speak and read a script. They meant what they said because they documented it. When you just speak out of your head, tomorrow say, "Oh no, I said that," and then you go look, they bring a video up. All Mr. Cummings wanted, once the process, we went through the process, and if Mr. Baga was the standard bearer, and called on him and say, "I want you to go as my VP because you sort of choose from someone else." People like us and other people are going to say, "Mr. Cummings, we lost. So now it is time to take this spot." But our biggest problem in Liberia, we never respect what we put on papers. We always love to take the shortcut. Either that paper favor me, or I will take the shortcut with all any it. Mr. Cummings is a principle-minded person, and I'm not going to change his ways. I can only want for Mr. Cummings to add other stuff on top of his attitude that he got. One, Mr. Cummings, no time. Mr. Cummings get up in the morning, he do an exercise, he go to, when he said 12 o'clock meeting, it's 12 o'clock meeting, I'm not going to change it. Maybe I will tell Mr. Cummings to add another thing on it. But I'm seeing no politician apart from my late bossman, Serena's Fall, that has the ability, the time, and it's very consistent. That's him. Let's go through the process. If I lose, I respect you and I go. That's what Mr. Cummings isn't for nobody. Some of us said, let all the ANC people come out who all voted for Mr. Cummings. I was in Liberia. People was waiting, but I said, you know what? Let's just play low on this thing, because if they do it, they say, "Oh, they won't demonstrate." And I never on this show told anyone that Mr. Appleton vote, Mr. Cummings' vote was given to Appleton. I never said it. I said, George Weah, they refuse to accept to keep Appleton in the corner because they believe that Appleton never had no vote. That's what I said. I said, subtract Mr. Cummings out of this list. Mr. Appleton, who never voted in the first round, defeated Akko, Tiago Gonglo, and all the people you even, it's impossible. Something went wrong. But when our people on the other side think that because we criticize Mr. Baga, they will have to live with it. They themselves was running around. UP ran around the country and said, "Mr. Cummings not gay." They didn't want to hear the news too. Mr. Cummings selfish. Mr. Cummings refused. He broke down the CPP. Mr. Cummings this, and we all saw them taking Mr. Cummings to court. My brothers and sisters from your UP, you need to come on your leadership right now. Understand that Liberia politics is divided. 50.36 or 40.9 are just less than 1%. So majority of Liberian people still rejected the two parties, whether we like it or not. So you need to unite the country and make sure that everything is okay. Opposition will remain as opposition. Whether you do good or not, they will still contest against you 2029. So whether you say Mr. Bwaka owe, he owe, and I will say Mr. Bwaka owe, in this great United States, we say Joe Biden is owe, Donald Trump is owe. If you don't want your life in public, remain as a private citizen. So in politics, everything is fair. Anything that is said to defeat you, that's why I get proud of you. Say Mr. Cummings again, we got to fight it to clean that record. If you say Mr. Cummings selfish, we got to fight it. I will not get vexed with you because you say Mr. Cummings short, Mr. Cummings this and that. That's the best way you feel that you can support. You can go against Mr. Cummings. But my thing was, we got to defeat UP to facing George Weah, or we defeat George Weah to facing Mr. Bwaka. So let's be honest here. So when Mr. Cummings came forward for 6, so he came all the way down. It still matters. You are the top now. You need to start thinking. But if you tell me because Mr. Cummings won Mr. Billete, today, the last few years, I remember Billete was the golden ball. 12 years he supported Ellen Johnson in the Unity Party. He went to Bromskin. He was all in the CPP job. And that time he was not chairman, he was the golden ball. Right now, as I speak, you can't hear like talking anything about him again because he's supporting Richard Kuhn. So no one can play fun with us here. We understand that brain politics is going to be played. They say 50 plus 1. They say you get 100%. So your two colors, the first and the last, are getting 0 for today. Thank you for your comment, but it's not something I would take. It's not something the public will take. But all the other colors, your expression and your opinion was right, and it is truth. We need to do better. Whether you supporting Mr. Bwaka or not, we need to do better. We need to concentrate and how to change things around. Fools don't change. God made nobody stupid. Nobody's stupid yet, but God, we got our intended to change things. When we make mistakes, we accept the mistakes and we work on the mistakes. So that is why they say the man who make mistake is better than the man who never even try. So I made a mistake. My parties, my main win. I know some of the ANC people will get pissed off, but we have to say the truth. Some people got to sit on the sideline when we get into 2029. If Mr. Cummings want to contest, there are things that we will not sit in the back anymore. I understand like brain politics. I need no paper behind me here to say I got a degree in it. I understand my people. Everything I ran for in this country from the Librarian Association, old timer, I won because I know where to start from. You understand your people, they will understand you. Nobody says you don't change your way. Don't be corrupt. You don't have to be corrupt. But it means that you can't understand the people. So the people that are going to come around Mr. Cummings, they are smart people. Don't get me wrong. Alva's smart. Mariah is smart. She do the best work. But when it comes to politicians like bro, see the day you're ready to run, you will see your door more. Plenty of people will be there. You tell one man around if you don't get him a good word. Okay. So remain as a journalist to call them the fire. And I want to say this. I will close with this because it's my closing. And I will say to the UP people, I listen to you guys when you were in the opposition. We criticized President Weah for putting $1.5 million in the budget for the first lady, which had never happened before. We criticize President Weah for presidential project money that can come in full. Is Mr. Bwaka willing to remove these monies out of the budget, that this money can go to education or school and hospital or anything? Is Mr. Bwaka willing to fight corruption, even if you don't do nothing, but to put the system in place that to fire people, jail them, and make sure we prosecute them, we audit everybody? We expect these things to happen. And also, we know that they're fixing a house. They fixed Madam Serif's house. She's living with it today. They fixed George Weah's house. He got everything here for him. They come and fix Mr. Bwaka's house, that his own property. Is that corruption or not? So we're watching y'all. We fought corruption. We went against George Weah. We saw him wearing $1,000 shoes. And these are the same things that we'll be watching. It's not about what you do, how you walk, or how you dance. But we want you guys to fight corruption because corruption is the one that damaging our country today. Can you stop the 30,000 out for these senators and representatives? We need all these things to stop and let us fight it.
And maybe they should stop buying them cards, scratch card, and all that. Then we'll know that they are ready for business. General,
everything then will know that is. Thank you. So I'm depending on you and Mr. C. You guys when they say the fourth S that you do, you're not supposed to be. You're not friend with no government. You are not a friend to them. You only there to speak people. Sometimes they will say, but when a man do good, you even talk about the man and no. You want the men to do good throughout, but you on the side of the Liberian people. Thank God, I see you taking picture around here with some people. Oh, I taking picture with the standing. And I mean, I respect the FOL. Let me be honest with you. There are so many times I get mad with my people. You see Alfonso So. Mr. Cummings went there one time. I think through Alva, I tried my best, but through Alva, he went there. But I want for people to go. You guys to ask the question, to hold these people feet to the fire. Our representative, why are they voting a secret ballot? We send them there to vote, to see how they're going to vote for the center. Why it should be secret ballots? These are the things we need to talk about. We voted for them, but when they go to vote among themselves, they say secret ballot. You impinge a man with secret ballot today. He said, oh no, I never voted against Kabina Janet. So who voted against Kabina Janet? Because it's all secret ballot. These are the things we need to hold these people responsible if we want a better government. So the bread is on your head too. So I want to say thank you very much for the time. And I appreciate it, and I will continue to follow you guys, and you'll continue the good job.
Thank you. I don't have politicians as my friend. My side is the people, and my role is to hold the politician accountable and keep them honest so that they can do what they promise they will do for the people. I don't take pictures with politicians. I have no reason doing that. You don't even see my own picture on Facebook that much. Then I'll go post some other picture. I can't do that. Folks, thank you. This is how we will close the edition of the Hour of Politics. General, thank you so very much for giving your perspective. I hope your party, your leaders will listen and they will make a judgment if they want to win this thing. 2029 is coming back so fast. Before you know it, they have to go back to the drawing board, come up with better strategies. The strategies that they have used for 2 years now have failed. Maybe they need to improve on those things and make some changes there so that you can have a chance. The song says we are all Liberians, and that song closes the broadcast right now. Thank you, everybody, and bye-bye.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.